Assalamualaikum, salam hormat. Selamat pagi, anda menyaksikan Niaga Awani bersama saya Haris Ashraf Hasnan dan rakan penyampai Najib Arif, dan kita bersiaran hari ini Najib dari Renaissance Hotel Kuala Lumpur bersempena dengan ISWC. Okey, kalau kita nak perincikan ISWC ini disebut sebagai persidangan kesejahteraan sosial antarabangsa, dan ini edisi kali ini cukup special sebenarnya kerana sebentar saja lagi kita akan bawakan ucapan perasmian oleh Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, tetapi kita ada perbincangan-perbincangan dan juga topik fokus tumpuan kita, Najib.
Betul. Tapi temanya terlebih dahulu.
Ya.
Tema untuk ISWC 2024 ini yang diberikan adalah Aging and Longevity Towards a Meaningful Retirement.
Ya.
Bahasa Melayunya penuaan dan juga lanjut usia ke arah persaraan yang bermakna. Kata kunci yang bermakna ini.
Ya.
Diskusi tentang persaraan ini dah lama kita bincangkan di Niaga Awani dan juga Astro Awani sebagai contoh. Tapi bagaimana kita mengangkat lagi isu ini ke terhadapan dan melihat amalan-amalan terbaik di peringkat antarabangsa, negara-negara tertentu atau rantau tertentu yang boleh kita contohi dan kita implementasikan dalam acuan kita sendiri. Dan kita lihat untuk pihak kumpulan wang simpanan pekerja yang menjadi satu badan yang sentiasa diberikan perhatian soal persaraan, banyak inisiatif sudah pun dijalankan untuk memastikan bahawa kita tidak berdepan dengan krisis persaraan sebagai contoh, dan memastikan bahawa liputan untuk kita bersara nanti adalah lebih meluas di kalangan penduduk warga Malaysia sebenarnya. Itu juga antara tumpuan lah saya kira kan.
Dan kalau kita telitikan unjuran, kalau kita lihat dari sudut gerontologinya menyatakan bahawa kajian menunjukkan bahawa kita akan jadi negara tua pada 2030, tetapi jangkaan itu mungkin lebih awal. Dan pada tempoh ataupun fasa pada ketika ini kita merupakan negara menua dalam menuju ke arah negara tua. Ini satu perkara juga yang akan diberi fokus dan juga tumpuan sepanjang 2 hari ini. Kelestarian, bagaimana persaraan yang bermakna itu dapat diresapi dan juga direalisasikan.
Ya, itu realitinya, sebab ramai mungkin di kalangan rakyat Malaysia yang mengatakan bahawa apabila bercakap soal persaraan ini, kerisauan itu kadang-kadang tidak wujud di dalam kotak pemikiran mereka. Kerana apa? Mereka mengatakan bahawa mungkin usia mereka tidak sampai kepada persaraan yang panjang dan sebagainya. Tetapi fakta dan juga data menunjukkan sebaliknya, di mana usia purata usia rakyat Malaysia ini semakin meningkat jangka hayatnya, iaitu kepada lebih 70 tahun. Tidak silap saya 73 tahun lebih sekitar.
Lelaki lebih kurang 73 ke 75.
Betul. Jadinya ini menggambarkan bahawa kita akan melalui fasa selepas bersara yang agak panjang. Kira lebih kurang 20 tahun. Kan kalau kita kira ambil 60 tahun
anggarannya
lebih kurang lah untuk tempoh tersebut, dan kita memboleh bukan sahaja wang tapi banyak perkara lain yang membolehkan kita bersara dengan lebih tenang dan juga dalam keadaannya lebih stabil lah keadaannya. Dan pada ketika itu juga perlu diambil kira bukan soal sahaja inflasi tapi juga tahap kesihatan juga memainkan peranan untuk membayar kos penjagaan kesihatan dan sebagainya. Ini semua saya kira ada perbincangannya di ISWC, dan juga kita akan bawakan butiran tersebut dari masa ke masa.
Dan antara topik yang menarik juga adalah berkenaan dengan job yang uncertainties, iaitu kerja-kerja yang macam gig ekonomi sekarang ni. Kita tengok gig ekonomi ada, pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang mungkin job base, macam kita especially dalam industri media pun kita bercakap sebelum ini dalam Hawana menyatakan bahawa stringer tak ada caruman per keso. Itu satu perkara perlindungan sosial, dan kemudian tak ada caruman KWSP juga. Bagaimana mereka ini adalah job base, dan
ahli
kru
sukan juga,
ahli sukan, kru perfilman dan sebagainya. Ini antara perkara-perkara yang akan menjadi fokus dan juga apa yang menarik sepanjang 2 hari ISWC ini, Najib.
Okey, sebelum kita akan membawakan ucapan yang membawa Perdana Menteri sebentar saja lagi untuk pelancaran dan perasmian, kita di ruang lega di hadapan Dewan yang akan menempatkan perasmian tersebut. Kita bawakan tetamu kita untuk jam ini. Siapa tetamu kita?
Okey, saya mempersilakan Puan Balqais Yusoff yang merupakan Head of Department Policy and Strategy EPF, dengan fokus dan juga tumpuannya adalah the road to meaningful retirement.
Puan Balqais, thank you so much joining us this morning. How are you feeling?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a big day for you and EPF as a whole, as a team.
Yes.
All right. I want to focus on the topic that we've discussed just now. The recent studies indicate that Malaysia, heading towards aging nation and aged nation in that sense, right? Meaning that our life expectancy is becoming much, higher and longer. And of course, in ISWC 2024 discusses the theme of aging and longevity, and also towards meaningful retirement. How is this seen as the best platform to discuss all of this and the best practices that we can, learn and also emulate from other countries as well?
Okay, I think before we even go there into the definitions, we'd like to say about why aging happens. So aging happens for two reasons. Number one is because people are living longer, right? So life expectancy in Malaysia has increased by more than 20 years since the 1950s. So people are living up to 75 years old. And then secondly, aging also happens because there's lower fertility rates per woman. So for a country to maintain its population base, the number of children per woman needs to be 2.1 children per woman. Malaysia is now at 1.6 children per woman. So that means we cannot replace our population. And that's why aging is happening. The older people are living longer. There's no children to replace, or very few children. So right now, we are experiencing one of the largest, fastest drop in the world in terms of number of children per woman. We are below United Kingdom, we're below France, we're below Australia. They are at 1.8 children per woman. So everywhere around the world, this is happening. So we need to take care of that phenomena. Now, coming back to definitions of aging, aged, because super aged, you would have heard that. So just to share with everybody, we are now experiencing aging nation phenomena, whereby about 10% of our population constituting the elderly. The definition for aging starts when 7% of the population, they comprise the elderly people. And then you become an aged nation when 14% of your population comprise the elderly. And then you become super aged when 21% of your population become the elderly population. So right now, we are aging at a speed that is very fast. How people measure the speed of aging is looking at from being aging nation to aged nation. So I'm using the international standards. We look at age 65 and above. So we are going to become, in 23 years, we're going to become from an aging nation to aged nation. Today we are aging, we started the aging process in 2020. 7%. We reached 7%. So we're going to be in 2023 years. We are 23 years. We are going to become an aged nation, whereby 14% of our population will become the elderly. And France took 100 years. Japan, Japan is as fast as us, but it's a problem because are we a rich nation? Do we have enough facilities for the elderly? Do we have policies? Do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the wealth? That's the question. So when these advanced economies move from aging to aged, they have these things. So we need to have this discussion because we need to prepare our nation for this phenomena. Because when you have aging phenomena, which is what's happening around the world, there's impact on your economy. Based on global evidence, for every 10% increase in the elderly population, there is a 5% drop in GDP. For every 10% increase in the elderly population, there's also a 10% drop in tax collection. So who's going to finance us? So what's going to happen? The consumption of the elderly will be completely different, right? So we need to think about it from multiple dimensions: politics, socio-economic, social, economy. So we need to prepare our economy. The structure of the economy needs to change because of aging.
Puan Balqais, a comfortable and conducive life during retirement is very important, and it includes financial planning and also preparations for a conducive retirement. From the perspective of EPF, how can someone be considered comfortable during retirement?
It's a big question.
It's important for all of us. I'm going to answer that in two framing. Number one is the international standards, right? So international standards says that you need to have 60 to 70% of your last drawn salary or income for you to be comfortable. Now, why 60 to 70%? Because we are assuming by the time you retire, you would have settled your financial commitments, the big ones like mortgage, car loans and stuff like that. So therefore, you be comfortable to live your life at that rate. So if you want to know your number, of course, if you have 100% replacement rate, exactly the same income that you get, then your life will not deteriorate. But if you have 60 to 70%, you can still maintain your life that you have right now because you want to enjoy whatever you've been enjoying. So we need to start framing retirement from income perspective. Sekarang kita kerja, ada gaji. Bila kita dah berhenti kerja atau semi-work, where is the income going to come from? So we need to think from that perspective these days, because it's no longer about us taking that lump sum and then spending it. That's framing number one. Framing number two, from the EPF perspective, we have a framework which we call retirement income adequacy framework. So we're going to look at the numbers from 3 levels. So number 1 is basic savings. So basic savings is 240,000 at the age of 55, so that you can have 1,000 ringgit per month for 20 years. So ambil 1,000 ringgit times 12 times 20.
Okay.
So that's basic savings.
Basic,
Yeah? But if you want to have adequate savings, that's
Yeah.
level 2. Yeah? Level 2 is adequate. What's adequate? Because basic savings just give you access to food. That's it. Nothing else, right?
Basic
je, basic necessities. Adequate savings, you need to have 2,500 per elderly times 12 times 20.
yeah.
Then you need 600,000 at the age of 55. Then you have 2,000 to 4,000 ringgit per month to live your life. So is that adequate? But if you want more, so we are giving you a third layer, which is enhanced saving. Enhanced saving is 1.8 million. So you take that number, that means you'll be enjoying between 7,500 to 10,000 ringgit per month, assuming the compounding is still happening, because you need to leave your money there, allow it to grow, then you will have that money. So if you want to know what is your number, you take your current salary times 12 times 20, that's a simple rule of thumb. So then you know, do you have enough? That's the question that you need to ask, because you are going to be living longer, because once you reach the age of 60, your life expectancy is no longer 75.
Yeah,
It's 80 years old at minimum, barring act of God. So, but most people, I want to share some numbers, 1 in 3 children of Generation Y will live to be 100 years old. So you need to prepare for that eventuality.
Okay, and of course we need to create awareness among the people right now, right? And of course in the context of educating the public towards a conducive retirement, like you mentioned just now, there are many factors they need to consider and also adhere at the present level. Among them is ensuring comfortable life today, and also what aspects, in your opinion, in terms of balance, do people need to adhere to currently and right now in order to guarantee a comfortable future after retirement?
Okay. Again, I'm going to answer that in 2 parts as well. So number 1, at individual level, what do you need to have? So we at the EPF believe that you need to have financial security. That is your wealth.
Yeah.
Do I have the money to finance my golden years, right? Number 2, do I have good health? Because people say health is wealth. If I have the money, but I don't have the wealth, no money in the world can save you from having terminal disease, right? And then thirdly, you need to have meaningful life or purposeful life.
Yeah.
Because based on studies, a purposeful life can extend your life expectancy between 6 to 12 years. So if you are also educated, that can extend your life expectancy between 5 to 17 years. Someone who's educated will get to live a bit longer because you are happier. So if you have money, but you don't have health, no point. But if you have money and health, but you have no meaning, you have a stable life, but there's no purpose, that is also bad for you. So you need to balance and find the sweet spot, because even if I have meaningful life, I have good health but no money, I nganga tengok orang lain enjoy their life. So we need to make sure that all these elements intersect. It's not about having one or the other. So we need to become healthier, take care of our well-being as well. So all this will help us prepare better in terms of having a holistic retirement. But at the national level, Malaysia needs to prepare its citizens for the financial security. So we need to have a tax finance elderly allowance that is broader based than just targeted, because people need to look at having regular income, right? So we need to build different layers from different contributory pots, so that at the end of the day, you're going to have multiple income sources. You cannot just depend on one. So that's what's happening in terms of best practices around the world, and more elderly. If I talk about pensions, globally, there are 1 billion elderly above the age of 60. And 78% to 80% are receiving pensions. In our country, it's 30% today. So we need to change and pivot DPF to give people regular income, and there needs to be a broader-based tax finance policies that give elderly income, because globally that's what people do. When they look at social security instrument, there are 9 of them. The most developed is pensions, because they will start giving the elderly first a regular income, because the elderly don't have people caring for themselves. But the children, they have the parents. But the next level is to look at children. So normally countries will look at settling the elderly, preparing them for good income.
Puan Balqais, ISWC, this edition is the platform, I think the most suitable word to say about discussion and also sharing ideas, thoughts. Maybe you can share background and also topics that will be discussed over these 2 days conference. Yeah.
Okay, this year, apt to the theme is about aging and longevity. So we're going to discuss this mind-blowing, breathtaking phenomena whereby people are living longer, and then we're looking at policies that need to change and how countries are adapting. So we're going to have like very good speakers like Robert Reich. He's going to talk about inequality because we cannot do capitalism the way that we do it today. It's not just for the elites. It's got to be for the many. People have to become more inclusive. So we don't have just economics growth, but we have to look at social development and how to balance and make more people enjoy this prosperity together. It's not just about targeting the hardcore poor. It's about looking at everybody across the board. The elderly, they have contributed in this nation building. So we need to celebrate. We need to recognize them. They have raised prime ministers. They have raised ministers. They have raised good talents like you. These are human capital to build the country together to become productive. So we also have Anu Patanan. She's a writer of the Nordic theory of everything. Is talking about how these Nordic countries build a good social security system. It's not just focusing on economic growth. We have to focus on other elements. First, stabilize people. But when we do policies, it's not just to help you, okay, you're hardcore poor, I just give you enough money. But actually, social security is about enabling you to be better, enabling households not just to eat today, but to save, to invest for their future. Otherwise, we keep blaming them. I give you money, then you cannot do anything else. But how are people going to take risk when their basic needs are not settled? So you need to give people enough leeway for them to then reach their full potential. That's what social security is about. Yeah. And we have many more, like Dato' Shalin, Zulkifli, Dato' Aflin Shauki, and all of these people, they're going to talk about, the freelancing. How are they going to be better off as well to get their preparation on retirement? So retirement is not just for the few formal sectors, it's for everybody. Everyone in our labor force need to be covered. And today we're only covering 60%, so we need to do better. But at the same time, even if you're not part of the labor force, every adult deserves social security. In Korea, OECD, 95% of all their working age adults, whether they are in the labor force or not, they have contributions. And they are making it either through government support and other things. So we need to move there because I believe Malaysia is fast becoming a rich nation. So we need to have policies, a new construct that befits a rich nation. No longer poor nation policies.
And one of the topics that we're going to discuss later after the event with Dr. Andrew, how to get older without looking old or getting old.
Getting old.
No, getting older. This is a very exciting topic as well. Thank you so much, Balqais, for joining us this morning. We're going to let you go go inside the hall for the launching event this morning. Thank you so much. Kita akan berhenti seketika. Kembali selepas ini, kita akan teruskan diskusi kita untuk melihat lagi aspek yang lain yang akan terkandung sepanjang hari ini untuk ISWC 2024. Kita berhenti seketika.